It was one of the most memorable experiences in their long lives, and that's saying something, considering the 93 Southwest Oklahomans who went on the latest honor flight have seen things and been places most of us just can't comprehend. 7 News reporter Scott Miller traveled with these World War II heroes on a whirlwind trip that brought back decades-old memories.
Oklahoma honor flights. Their mission is simple: transport Oklahoma veterans to Washington, D.C. to visit those memorials dedicated to honor their service and sacrifice. And what they experienced was one unlikely and impromptu hero's welcome after another all day long. The engines were roaring, still dark, as the 91 men and 2 women began boarding the plane. There were pictures to be taken, the first of so many. They started sharing stories before they'd even made it to the plane. Travel is a little more challenging these days, and for some, wheelchairs are a necessity. Nobody seemed to care because today is a day like no other.
I had never been to Washington, and everything was new to me. I enjoyed the whole trip, everything, even the plane.
Jack survived the Bataan Death March. He's flown all over the world, and he didn't want to miss this trip. Neither did Gunnar Johnson, a Marine injured in the Battle of Iwo Jima. He wanted to see the Marine Corps Memorial, known by most as the Iwo Jima Memorial. It's been there for 58 years. But at his age, he says he never thought he'd get to see it.
I hadn't been much past Oklahoma City, but I'd always wanted to go to see that. I wanted to see that.
On this day, the 86-year-old would get his wish. The plane was nearly filled to capacity. Veterans were given blue shirts. Guardians wore red shirts. Guardians were there to help. They were sons and daughters, nieces and nephews. And most of those that weren't family members were veterans too. First stop, Baltimore Washington International Airport. It was also the first of many opportunities to honor the vets. Just as soon as they stepped off the plane, members of the Air Force were there, shaking hands, and the words, "Thank you for your service," were uttered literally hundreds of times. Just inside the terminal, more men and women in uniform. This time, the Navy. Fanny Worthen was an Army nurse. Her late husband, Rodney, served in the Navy.
When we came to the sailors, it all went back to Rodney then. And that got me. I've got pictures of Rodney, you know, in his sailor suit, and it was almost too much for me.
I had a Marine emblem on there, and he saluted me. And I thought, how great that was.
It was on to the World War II Memorial, more pictures, and a group shot destined to become a cherished piece of family history. Even though World War II was fought so long ago, the memorial came long after the Vietnam and Korean War memorials. Finished almost 8 years ago, 56 granite pillars celebrate the unity of our nation. Each state and territory from that period and the District of Columbia represented by a pillar. And our vets headed straight for Oklahoma. I saw a little boy talking to one of the Southwest Oklahoma veterans. After he turned away, the boy wanted to continue the conversation. Everywhere you looked, kids from all over the United States were talking with and asking to take pictures with these 80 and 90-year-old heroes. Nobody planned it this time. It just happened.
Little kids come up and ask to have their picture taken with you.
Everywhere they went, people were talking to our veterans as if they knew them. It was a day filled with memories. No stop on this trip down memory lane triggered emotion like the nearly 300,000 graves at Arlington National Cemetery.
When we lost a plane load of the boys, and we worked so hard, and they were conscious, and we lost every one of them. We worked through the night. They were just kids, it was almost too much to take, really.
As they exited the buses, there was an impromptu celebration. Students from Cypress Christian School in Houston, Texas, at the end of a week-long trip in Washington, showed their appreciation with applause, handshakes, and even a hug.
There was 52 of them from Houston, and I said I shook 52 hands.
It made me feel real good.
This young man was overcome with emotion. His grandfather served in World War II, but died before he was born. It's almost as if on this special day, he was able to reach out and touch the grandfather he respects so much, but never knew. One final stop before heading back to the airport. Gunnar waited all day for this one moment that he will remember all the days of his life. He was on that rock they call Iwo Jima when the Marines raised that flag. 2 weeks later, he was injured, 3 days before his 19th birthday.
Yeah, that was part of me, to know that I was there. And I did make it through. That was something very, very special to me.
Well, we're back at BWI Airport. It's been a great, great day. Well, wait a second. That's not fair of me to speak for you guys. Guys, has it been a great day? Yes! Well, there you go. It has been an awesome day and a memorable day. A day these guys will never forget, and a day I promise you I will never forget. Guys, thank you.
When they returned to Lawton Fort Sill Regional Airport, they were greeted like the heroes they are, surrounded by loved ones who will, no doubt, hear the stories from this day till there are no more days for these humble veterans.
And those kids from Cypress Christian say that meeting the Southwest Oklahoma veterans was the highlight of their trip. And by the way, they also went to the White House. For more information on Oklahoma honor flights or to make a donation, visit oklahomahonorflights.org.